Hey guys, John Martinez here, REI Sales Academy. I'm in Orlando getting ready to work with one of the groups in the academy. But I wanted to take a second just to shoot this quick video. There's a question about door knocking pre-foreclosures, so let's just run through some basic best practices. First of all, you got to know what's their mindset. So they're probably going through a tough situation. Think about who else is probably knocking on their door. Think about the struggles they're dealing with and the stresses they have. They're going to be what we call in a state of being not okay, right? And if you guys don't know if you guys missed the class or forgot the class on empathy, it's called Okay, Not Okay in the Psychology of Empathy. Go ahead and watch that video again. Watch the live training on that. But basically, they're in a state of not okay. They're either stressed or confused or upset or angry or scared and worried. There's something. They're usually going to be in a state of not okay. And when people are not okay, they do one of two things. They fight or they flee. So the first thing you need to know when you're knocking on the door of a pre-foreclosure is the first thing you need to do to make sure they don't fight or flee is get them into a state of okay. Okay? So that's getting into their head, number one. They're not okay. How do we get them okay so we can even say hello? So the way we always do this is the only way we can make them more okay is by being less okay than they are. Think about it. The way I explain it in the sales training is, what if you have a real crappy day, right? And you're feeling horrible about yourself. Doesn't that all change almost instantaneously when you see someone with a much worse situation, right? The other day I was working, I was grinding away. I was working through some pretty tough stuff, and I just wasn't making any progress. And I was having a pity party, right? I was, oh, this sucks, blah blah blah. And then turn on Facebook, and someone had posted about a family member passing away, and bang, it hit me. I'm okay, right? I've got it good. Why am I pissing and moaning about work when I have a sweet job, being a little tough, grinding away? This is what I love to do, right? So it puts it into perspective. So when you're not okay, when someone's not okay, a real quick way to get them to being in the state of okay is by comparison, right? So again, when I see someone who has a horrible situation, I feel better about myself. When you door knock on a pre-foreclosure, they're going to be not okay. The only way to make them okay is to be not okay yourself. So how do we actually apply that? So that means you got to be a little nervous. You got to be a little timid. You've got to be a little unsure. And you being not okay is going to make them okay. What's that sound like? It might sound like something like this. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, listen, I'm really sorry. I'm not even sure if I have the right house, if what the situation is or what's going on. I thought long and hard about whether or not I should even walk up here, but I'm really looking to buy a house in this neighborhood, and I could be wrong, and please don't get upset. I thought you might be open to listening to an offer on the house, and if that's stupid, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come up here unannounced. I feel this isn't what I usually do. I'm incredibly embarrassed. So that's an extreme example, right? So don't be overconfident when you go to the door. You want them to feel okay. You want them to say, no, it's okay. Don't worry about it, right? So use that lesson. So that's number one, is they're going to be in a state of not okay. You want them to get okay. What you have to do is be a little uneasy yourself, and by comparison, they're going to probably rescue you. So, all the hemming and hawing, all the kind of stuff about, I didn't even know if I should walk up to the door. You're probably going to, I don't know how you're going to react. Be embarrassed, be bashful, be really uneasy, and by comparison they're going to tell you no, it's okay. That's how you get the conversation started, right? And then the actual words you're going to use, whatever those words are, don't suggest anything, right? Use what we call a takeaway, right? We learned the lesson on overcoming resistance on psychological reactance. When you've got a potentially dangerous question to ask, don't ask it, state the opposite. So instead of, hey, would you like to sell your house? Here's how I'd phrase it. Hey, listen, I'm guessing that no matter what I could offer you or what I could help out with, you probably have zero interest whatsoever in even looking at a cash offer for this property. if we could close real quickly on it and whatever comes next, right? So that's the other piece of it, right? Use a takeaway. Tell them they have no interest. Hey, here's what I do, but I'm guessing you have zero interest whatsoever, and I completely understand if that's the case. That's what my gut's telling me is the case. You have zero interest in getting out of here with some cash in your pocket. And then just shut up. Number 3 is be very careful about the information you share with them. If you start saying, hey, I found your records in a database. Hey, I know your house is being foreclosed on. Hey, I know you're not paying your bills. What's that going to do? Put them into an extreme state of not okay. They're going to fight or they're going to flee. So be very careful about what you know. I like to, in these types of situations, I like to just pretend like I don't know. So we call skip trace leads of vacant properties. Usually someone has passed away and the property is been handed down somewhere. But instead of telling them on the phone that we know all that information, which usually causes a lot of pushback, we just say, hey, this is kind of crazy, out of the blue, I know, but would you have any interest in selling your property? So those are my 3 pieces of advice for you. Number 1, be not okay to make them okay, so you can even have the conversation, right? Number 2, don't ask, use a takeaway, right? Suggest they have no interest in even getting an offer on the property. Let them either correct you or confirm what you said. You won't create an enemy that way. And then number 3, just be very careful with your intelligence. What would you find out? What would you do? What would you feel like if you had a very embarrassing situation or a tough situation, you found out, oh, wow, everybody knows, right? So those are my 3 pieces of advice on a script, or at least how to put together a script. Guys, I hope that helps. I'm out.